as you've seen in the above diagram, a HTTP post request will be sent to the sender service, with a message in the body of the HTTP request. The message will be sent in either email service or the message service based on the application parameter configured in the application. If the sender.service is equal to email, email service will be called and the message will be sent through the email. If the sender.service is equal to SMS, then messaging service is called and message will be sent through SMS. In our case, we need to switch the service based on the value of the property in the application. To achieve that, we are going to discuss about the conditional on property in the Spring Boot. Let's proceed on the creation Spring Web application. To understand the conditional on property, go to the Spring Initializer and create a Spring Boot web application by adding Spring Web dependency, and configure Java version and build tool. Here in our case, I have selected Java 17 and Maven. Let's generate the project and import in your IDE. The project, which was created using a Spring Initializer, was loaded in the IDE, and the project was named as Sender App. If we go to the pom.xml, we can see that we have added Spring Boot Starter Web as dependency to support HTTP request and response. Let's create a new package and name it as Services. In the new package, we are going to create an interface named as iSenderService. The iSenderService will be extended two classes, which are Messaging Service and the Email Service. Let's create a Java interface iSenderService. Let's create two more classes, one for the Messaging Service and one for the SMS Service. Yes, the Messaging Service was created and it implements the iSenderService. It has overridden the send method and it displays the message, a message sent by SMS, and we have added the service annotation. Email service was added, which implements the same iSenderService, and the send method was overwritten, and the message written was the message sent by email, and service annotations was added. As we have created two beans, email service and the messaging service. Let's verify the two beans are available in the Spring Framework container, to check that we have auto-wired the application context and implemented the command line runner interface. The command line runner is a Spring Boot interface. Spring Boot will automatically call the run method of all the beans implementing this interface after the application context was loaded. Here the application context was loaded, and the run method will be called on execution of the Spring Boot application. Actually, we created two services which are implementing the iSender interface. Beans has to be created as we have annotated with the @service annotation. Email service and messaging service should be available inside the Spring Framework container. So this code will find the beans, and we are going to print the bean name and what is the type of the bean. The application was ran successfully, and we are able to see email service and the messaging service and the type of beans. Hence, the beans are available in the Spring Container Framework. Let's create a REST controller to handle the HTTP request and response. Here I have added a class sender controller and marked as a REST controller to handle the incoming HTTP request. Added a send method reads the HTTP message and call the sender service to send the message in either email or SMS. So let's proceed on to test. The application was run and we are getting an error. Actually, it is a valid error. Let's understand the issue. So currently we have email service and message service are available in the Spring container. Here the Spring Framework not able to assign which service at the auto-wire. So we are getting an error like required a single bean, but two are found, which is email and messaging service. To avoid the error, we need to have either email or message service. To do that, we need to add application parameter, which decides the service to load in the Spring container. Here I have added sender service property as email in the application properties file. So any request come from the HTTP will send the message in the email service. In the email service, we have added the conditional on property value as email. So if the application property sender.service is configured as email, then the email service bean will be registered in the container, and it will be managed by the Spring Framework. So if the application property sender.service is configured as SMS, then the messaging service bean will be registered in the container, and it will be managed by the Spring Framework. So based on the application property value that is email, email service bean was satisfying the condition, and the email service will be registered and available in the Spring container. So let's check that currently I am in the sender application main page, and I am running the application. The application was run, and we have found that only one service was available. Before adding the conditional on property, we are able to see two beans. Now it is only one bean based on the application property. The email service bean only registered in the container. The other one, the messaging service bean, was not registered in the container. Let's send the HTTP request to send the message. Message was sent, and we received a message that is message sent by email service. Thanks for joining the course. You can see the message was sent by email service, and the message was received. Let's change the property to SMS, and rerun the application, and verify the other service was picked or not. As you see, after changing the value to SMS, the email service is not registered, and the messaging service is registered in the container. And let's send the message, and see the output should be message sent by SMS. Yes, the output came as expected, a message sent by SMS service. Let's check what will happen if the property itself missing. So we need to send any default service. Have added match if missing equal to true. If the property is not available, the condition is enabled. So this conditional property will be true, and the email service will be registered if the property is missing. Yes, I am able to see the email service available in the container. Let's send the HTTP request. Yes, the message was sent by email. The output came as expected. Thank you for listening this video. Please like, share, and subscribe for more videos.